Alright, so the best part of the day, trying to get out of here. Wait for it. Oh, no. I'm turning right. Oh, fuck off. We've got fucking Mount Washington over here. Can people not drive something smaller in Toronto? What's the point of even having an SUV here? You can't use it to its capacity. That's how bad it is. Traffic is here. Only way to get out. I don't honestly know how people drive giant SUVs and minivans over here. Too much stress with that thing. Oh my god. Really? They're blocking the whole intersection? This one benefits of a motorcycle. You want to need to change lanes? Nice and simple. Like, look at this. It's too big. It's too big for this. It is a beautiful day. It is finally a whopping 18 degrees. We've been waiting like half the fucking year for this shit now. Do you guys like my French accent? Do you like it? I am happy as can be to be outdoors. Let's go. This guy, he's trying to kill me. Huh? Let me guess, you can't turn left. Fucking bullshit. New brakes are needed for somebody here. I don't know who. Oh boy, the potholes. Alright. Alright, so talking about fuck, you want to talk about awareness? Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm going to talk about. Awareness today. While riding. Well, I mean, here's a good example. We got a fairly narrow road with potholes everywhere. People driving slow. That only took like an extra 5 minutes to do that way around. Ow. Always check your blind spot when you're changing lanes. And check all those. Also, all those skills you learn about emergency braking, you're going to be having to use them in traffic because people sometimes randomly hit the brakes. Oh, here's a good case. All right. See, luckily it's not wet. I could wipe out on that shit. All right. Now we got cars. Here's a good example. All right. You got people who want to change lanes now because they're stuck behind a bus in the bus lane. All right. So, we'll start with the bus lanes. My mind's a little scattered right now, but let's start with the bus lanes as a road hazard. All right. Bus lanes, or HOV lanes, which it is as well. Motorcycles in Toronto are allowed to use them. The only thing, and I use them myself, like right now, because, why not? But there's cars in every other lane, so why not use it? You just have to keep in mind that, when you're in the bus lane, people will pull out from all the driveways and go into this lane first, so you're at risk in that respect. People can pull out from the regular lane in here. So if you're going like, let's say 80, 70, 80 or whatever, and some person who stopped just suddenly decides to go in the HOV lane, you're at a road hazard. That's a road hazard. Even though the HOV lane can help, just keep that in mind. And also, since it's a bus lane, you've got buses stopping too. And sometimes what happens is, see? Like, just randomly decides to go in the HOV lane. So I'm telling you, it's automatic. Like, 2 years ago, I would have freaked out if that guy did it. Now it's like, it's all the fucking same. Learn to fucking drive. You cut me off and then you take 10 minutes to get into the other lane while hitting the brakes. Anyhow, that was not very angry. I could get worse. So yeah, so everyone is coming in and out of the bus lanes, right? So be prepared to stop at any time, and buses are always stopping as well. And the thing too is, if you're in the lane beside the HOV lane, like that middle lane over there, sometimes when buses stop, cars just suddenly, they do what I like to call the kamikaze dodge, because they're so impatient. They can't anticipate, and they have poor anticipation skills and can't anticipate that bus slowing down. They go right up the bus's butt because it's driving slow. Then the bus brakes to a complete stop. Then you have a car behind the bus, and then the guy decides, oh, I'm going to randomly change lanes after being completely stopped. No signal, no nothing, or a signal as literally they're getting into your lane, and you could be passing them at like 70 kilometers an hour or whatever. So you got to be very careful of that if you're in the lane beside the bus lane or in the bus lane itself, because there's nonsense stuff like that. Also, since you're behind big vehicles, it's harder for people to see you. So sometimes people will see a bus and they think, oh, there's a gap after the bus, but you're actually there, and so they pull out. So got to be careful of that. I got to understand it's kind of high risk. Another thing to keep in mind when you're riding. Tip number 2, I guess, or 3. All these painted lines, when they're wet, they're very smooth. They're a very smooth surface to begin with. What happens is when they're wet, they become very, very, very slippery. Also, the brake line right there gets very slippery when wet. So if you have to change lanes when it's wet, Try to do it at an angle, so that way if you don't hit the line right on, hit it at an angle or between the broken lines. That way you don't slide out. I almost slid out once because of that. Another thing to keep in mind too, when wet especially, all those manhole covers, very, very slippery. And they put them right in the middle of the road. Sometimes they have 2 or 3 in the same freaking lane, right almost side by side, and they're hard to avoid. So pay attention to those things. I think this minivan is trying to race me or something, I don't know. See, like what that guy was doing right there, people do that in the bus lanes too. A lot more, and you gotta watch out for that. Also right now, see how empty this lane is? At any time, some jackass could decide to come in here and cut me off. So I'm looking at their lights, I'm looking at their signals, making sure that they stay where they belong, or that also people like to brake and get out of the lane. It's another thing, like I say, like when behind a bus, like I don't know what he's doing. Also, there's certain brands of vehicles that generally do stupid things. Mercedes, BMW, all the time. If you see them, you know they're going to do something stupid, pretty much guarantee. So watch out for them. Whenever I see them, I actually just expect them to do something. Because I don't know why you'd spend $100,000 on a car and drive it like shit, but that's just, I don't know, that's what they do. Get in there, get in. Oh, another thing too, you're not actually supposed to be blocking intersections like that. But everybody does it. Most people. Come on. Hello. Doggy, doggy, I like doggies. Yeah. I'm sorry, I have a soft spot for animals. It just make me my heart melt. I don't know. I love them. I love doggies and kitties, and they're so cute and so sweet and loyal, you know. And this is why I wish lane splitting was legal, because this is just retarded. Oh, another thing, when you're at a light like this and you're going slow or you're stopped, position yourself in such a way that if somebody, always look in your rear mirror for once, go rear mirror forward, rear mirror forward, rear mirror, like constantly. I know lane filtering, like I said, is not legal here, but at any time some idiot can decide to rear end you because they're not paying attention on their stupid phone. So if you're positioned like this, I notice a lot of other riders do that too. If for whatever reason the guy behind is not paying attention, is on his phone, boom, just go right ahead. Won't get rear-ended. If you think your safety is jeopardized, you can just go ahead and get away from it. I mean, you have that as, even though motorcycles are dangerous, you have that advantage. You're small. They're all blocking the intersection like idiots again. Whew, you're a brave soul, my friend. Whew. So see, as I'm stopping, whoop, I plop myself just like this. Another thing to look out for, over here we don't fix our roads properly. We just put tar in them. So what happens is all these little cracks, where that, you know, first of all, the tar is not very good. Because one, when it's raining, it's slippery as like snot, so you'll end up slipping on it. So try to avoid the little tar if you can. Another thing of tar is when it gets hot, it becomes very gooey and starts to melt. Very slippery as well for your motorcycle tires. And another thing too, just doesn't hold up. So a lot of times you'll end up with like cracks like this, and a lot of times they're on white lines between the broken lines when you're changing lanes. Don't try to go over that stuff at an angle, because sometimes your tire is just small enough to get lodged in there and you can wipe out. So that's another thing to look out for. Road engineers are definitely out there to kill us. Another thing on top of that to look out for is potholes. Sometimes they're not rightly sealed. You end up going over, it's just a little bit of dirt covering it. Or sometimes too, they're right in the middle of your way. All of a sudden you have a big vehicle ahead of you, you don't see it. So, you know, you always got to be vigilant about that. Oh, there's another thing for you. Lane closures. Watch out for those, because people will cut you off. And of course it holds up traffic like mad. People don't know how to merge. Alright guys. Know if there's much more else I could cover. I mean, sorry, I mean, there's a lot of paying attention. Like, people are just suddenly braking. Like, we were just doing like 60, 70, and now we're going down to 20. And this guy wants to turn right. I'm guessing it's into that. He's lost.